Hello Evertonians and welcome to the All Together Now podcast. You are fully aware we are at the Bramley Moore Pub on the banks of the Royal Blue Mersey. I'm Tony Scott, joined by Greg O'Keefe and David Hughes as ever, and lots to discuss on this week's podcast is the Everton versus Manchester City preview. We'll also be discussing what we learnt about our victory against Sheffield Wednesday during the week. That was in the Carabao Cup. We've got our thoughts on the draw in Watford and obviously the opportunity to actually lift this season's trophy. It'd be interesting to get the guys' take on that one. And obviously we'll be discussing Everton versus Manchester City, which is a Saturday night match on Sky. First up, gents, David, you can have first stabs on this for the change. You always go to Greg. What did we learn from the match against Sheffield Wednesday? I know we got through, it was one of them games where you just get through, not really bothered about the performance, but what did we learn about the actual match?
There's options available in terms of personnel. I think that was a big one. I mean, obviously the caveat is we played a team in the Championship, so you've got to keep that in mind. But it was interesting to see Iwobi go in at 10, something that we discussed plenty of times, and do a fairly good job of it. It was near on impossible game to watch, wasn't it? Unless you were Mr. O'Keefe, who was there in the press box. But I know from looking at the numbers that an interesting narrative that come out was Iwobi. He received the ball 38 times. Sigurdsson's average this season is 20.
Interesting.
Sample size is very small, but we've been saying for a while that Iwobi is a bit more mobile in that position. It looked like he may be able to do that role going forward, so something to bear in mind. But yeah, thought it was just and they either performed the two goals early on. Calvert-Lewin, they really laid the foundations to get our name in the hat.
Greg, apart from being out of order for not live periscoping it for us, what did you learn from the match?
Yeah, well, there was no decent streams, nowhere.
Nothing. No streams.
Awful.
No links.
Well, from basically, I was impressed with Yerry Mina. I thought he had a good game, and I've questioned him this season, but I thought he sort of stood up really to the challenge that Wednesday brought, which was limited. I have to say, the caveat that they'd made 8 changes. They're a decent side when they're at full strength, albeit Championship club, but they weren't very good, in my humble opinion. They didn't really cause us that many problems, and the only chances I should say that they had were ones where we sort of put on a play for them. Tom Davis gave a sloppy pass early doors. The lad goes through, I think Sam Winall anyway.
Well, yeah.
And if he'd scored after less than 5 minutes, could have been a different game given how our confidence was. But good enough, Pickford made a great save. And that's not to single out Davies, by the way, because speaking to Davey about it afterwards, and he had an alright game. He had a decent game. He was trying to look up and play the ball forward, and probably we haven't seen much of him generally, but probably the best I've seen him in a while. Did he do enough to be involved from the start against City? Maybe not, but it was a little reminder of what he's got. Bit mobile in there. He is quick and he's a fit lad, and he does buzz around that midfield. So he looked very nervous as well, I have to say.
The one thing that worried me is that from set pieces again, we looked very vulnerable.
Well, that free kick in the second half.
Yeah, and there was one from, even in the first half, and I look at players, and obviously the zonal mark, I get that, but Elf switched off for one in the second half, and Tom Davis switched off early doors, and I know it worries me because he's still adamant on the zonal marking, and he said it's going to stay, that's it. But it's the lack of height that he's putting players in positions. We seen it last week. Sheffield United scored from a set piece, but there was 3 Sheffield United players in the box, unmarked at the back post. Yeah. So you can go man for man, you can zonal mark and whatever. If 3 lads are unmarked at the back post, all it takes is a really good delivery and you're knackered. What does zonal marking do for you then? If there's a decent delivery, which I'm sure we're in the Premier League, 9 times out of 10 there's going to be a really good delivery because these are set piece specialists that we're playing against now. So if they could have back post, I think we put a tweet out there during the week, and it was simply to show Everton zonal marking, which I'm sure it's got its flaws and it's great sometimes, but if an opposition team puts 2 players in a zone who are more height obviously higher than you,
big guys,
what can you do?
I don't know. I feel like this debate, I don't mean to say to shut down what you're saying, I just mean it feels like a redundant debate because Silva just seems in no way prepared to change that way of defending.
But every set piece that comes in the box, David...
So we can complain about it till the cows come home, but is it... What was it that...
But it's hard to get optimistic, isn't it?
Yeah. But then they got so good at it, relatively speaking, in that run towards the end of last season, didn't they?
Because they had Kurt Zouma at the back.
Well, that's another issue, isn't it? That, you know, we've said about it at the end of the window. I remember sat here on deadline day saying it was a massive recruitment error not getting in another centre back. And it still feels like that, doesn't it?
But apart from that, against Sheffield Wednesday, we got through and it was all about that. That was a worrying aspect for me. It was pleasing for me. I know people will argue that James Cullen was dropped for Sidibe.
How do you think he did?
Well, from the highlights that I've seen, done quite well. Sidibe looked to force going forward as well. And even from the first goal, Greg, Sidibe picks the ball up and looks up, actually pinpoints someone out.
Gallops forward.
And I haven't seen Coleman do that for 18 months, Greg. I haven't seen it. Actually get his head up and look for a centre forward. He's just inside and crosses are going astray. It's a 50-50 chance when he crosses the ball in the box, and that's simply not good enough. And I thought Sidibe is more of an outlet for me from what I've seen. Schneider in the midfield, obviously he went there on Wednesday, and I thought Everton just more energy and legs. Don't get me wrong, I think when we play Manchester City, I think it will be different. I think he will bring probably Schneider and back in, but I think if Everton going forward, they need energy and legs, and I'm sure Schneider and Coleman, my two favourite players, will be in the team.
You don't think they'll be in the team?
I just can't see what's
else. City, sorry. Or you do think Schneider will?
I think Schneider will be. Sidibe, if he wants to win the game, he's offering nothing. And what worries me about Seamus Coleman, that I've said it time and time again, opposition are targeting him. They are targeting him now. They are seeing him as a weak point. Kevin De Bruyne, they'll have Silva, they'll have a go. We'll go on to City later on, but it does worry me. And I think it was a perfect situation on Wednesday that he was left out. Sidibe comes in and plays well. Yeah,
I mean, he played all right. He did okay. I mean, that first goal was, he did get his head up, and he did put in a good ball. He sounding churlish. It was helped by the fact, I don't know where Sheffield Wednesday's left back was.
Yeah.
I think he was stood outside the ground because it was just basically
trying to get a stream.
Trying to find a stream. It was run into that space and give the ball to Calvert-Lewin. Took his goal well. What about Calvert-Lewin? What do you think about?
We've spoken you know my thoughts on him,
Greg. Thoughts on him, yeah. I've been his next number 9.
No, I've been ridiculed lately over the past couple of weeks, so I was quite happy to get on the phone to me dad after that one, say, that's his level, that's all you get.
You can't win it.
Exactly. So at this level, the lad scores against Chelsea, scores against Manchester City, scores against Arsenal. It's that his level. So you can't have it both ways if you're arguing if he's not. To take them well, and if I'm not being funny, his players are screaming for Cenk Tosun to get on board. If he scores then, everyone's waxing lyrical about him.
Yeah.
Do you remember if Richarlison scores them goals, everyone's going on about them?
Yeah.
He got in the box. I don't think it's his level. I think there's a Premier League player in there, but I just think we're being too harsh on him lately. It's because he's so young and he's carrying the burden of Everton on his shoulders. Cenk Tosun's not good enough. We've been through it several times, and people will argue he hasn't been given an opportunity this season. He had last season, and Sam Allardyce, not good enough, not mobile enough, not a Premier League player in my opinion. Calvert-Lewin will get behind players, he'll hold the ball up. He's not a 25 goal a season man. I take that on board. He probably knows that more than anyone, but he's still willing to get in there and fight.
He still might be. He still might one day be that player. Like he's scored 3 goals in 2 starts now. Is his career starting to go the right way? His XG in that time was 1.6, but he still scored 3 goals. That means he's scoring difficult chances. And his XG for that first goal was like 0.11, which basically means he had around 11% chance of leading to a goal. So that's a fantastic finish.
Yeah.
So he does have them in there. Okay, he doesn't do it consistently. We know that, but he's still young. Did any of you catch Arsene Wenger talking this week about young players?
No.
So I'll just paraphrase it very quickly.
Tell us in French, please.
Yeah, you know me well. He basically says, he would often rely on young players who were very talented, but he would accept that there was going to be flaws in their game whilst he's playing them, and he would stand up and just take responsibility for that because he knew that was going to be the case. But he accepted that the talent outweighed those flaws. Why can't Calvert-Lewin at 21 still be considered in that bracket? He should be.
Yeah.
And he said, and Wenger would say that he played these players over 27, 28-year-old more experienced players. You know, you'd rather develop like a Calvert-Lewin than a Tosin or Walcott. Like, no one wants to see Walcott coming on the pitch anymore because he's not offering anything, and he's not going to offer anything further down the line.
I think it's a point as well as that. Like, you look at Harry Kane for England and for Tottenham, 25 goal season, man, 30 goal, whatever. Was he at 20 at that age? Was he banging him? Was he?
I can't remember when he had that first unbelievable season.
I think he was at Millwall. I think he was
the
young player.
He's been at Leicester as well.
So, you're probably right, David. I think we're being very, very critical on him because we're expecting him to be this next big thing. Do you know what I mean? And it's because Tosin's failed. It's because Walcott's failed. Because we haven't got a centre forward. Yeah. It's because Everton haven't replaced Romelu Lukaku for so long. It's because this is where we're at. Well, it's not Calvert-Lewin's fault, and I think he'll improve every season that he's with us. And I think I think Evertonians are really harsh on him.
I think you touched on it there. What we do lack a centre forward, probably, well, definitely, and we lack goals. And that's not, as we've said before. You're talking about the players behind, and we won't go over the Sigurdsson argument again, but we're not creating enough chances. Yeah. And as a team, we do lack goals. With 3 shots on target against Sheffield United. So that can't be solely the fault. I mean, Moise Kean started that game, didn't he? But that can't be solely the fault of one player, especially not a 21-year-old lad. And unfortunately, I mean, Silva wanted to sign Mandzukic, didn't he?
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it didn't happen. I do look at our forward line and think you need more experience. How old was Richarlison? The Wolbies come in and, you know, we're just... if you couldn't have got Mandzukic, without banging on about recruitment again, I feel there was a shout for getting an older player. Someone mentioned it to me. I don't think you'll agree. Well, I won't put words in your mouth, but someone like a Troy Deeney, who could have come in, and he's an older player who's got experience, leadership, and he's proven at scoring goals in the top flight.
We've been there with all these washed up centre forwards, Greg. I think I said it on Deadlines.
What's that? Sorry.
Just agreeing. I wouldn't be down for that.
Well, I mean of that like sort of ilk, age-wise and proven goal-scoring record.
Yeah, I understand what you. I take the point what you're saying, but
so
we've been there so many times with dragged up, washed up centre forwards with no resale value.
Yeah, and I think that's the other issue.
Brands have been brought in, and we know why brands have been brought in to put some resale value on these players. That you look at all the players Everton have brought in under Marcel Brands. Every one of them has been brought in, so there's a sell-on value with them all. Everton under Steve Walsh and Ronald Koeman were just absolutely buying. Literally, it was anyone that moved. If they were 30, if they were 35, if they were 21, it was just throw them in there with no sell-on value. And that's how we literally wasted a lot of money on junk.
It's not even the sell-on value though as well, it's the expense to buy these players in the prime as well. You know, that's a big problem as well. You'd rather rear players, buy them cheap and rear them, and then the sell-on value. Like, I wonder how much you think we'd have to pay for it. I know you were just using an example, so I'm not digging out on that one, but how much do you reckon Everton would have to pay for Troy Deeney?
Well, Watford would probably make us play through nose one, wouldn't we? I don't know.
Or Vardy,
20 million plus.
We'll say 30 million, just throw 30 million.
Maybe a 30 million.
And then you get one season out of them. And maybe it doesn't even work. And then next minute you've sitting
maybe Everton are just in a lose-lose situation at the moment on that front.
Yeah, well that's what I was going to get at, because in that case, don't put the pressure on Moise Kean. He's 19. He's going to take time to adapt. So where are the goals coming from?
Well, this is what I'm saying. Well, if you're a centre half playing against Everton on Saturday night, out of the Tosin, Calvert-Lewin or Keane, if it's Tosin, Calvert-Lewin or Moise Kean, who would you rather not play against out of them?
The one you'd least
likely to play against.
Probably Calvert-Lewin.
There you go. So that answers every question. Where all the Everton fans are having a go currently at Dominic Calvert-Lewin, there's your answer. I'd love to play against Cenk Tosun if I was a centre half, because the lad just doesn't move. He's not mobile enough.
Definitely.
And Moise Kean, he's going to take a lot more time to settle than what we actually thought. You can see straight away. He has a couple of good touches and looks nifty around the box, but I don't know.
I think he's a goal or two away from maybe becoming an important player.
Do you think maybe when it goes in, it'll be that?
Yeah.
We had the three of us went for a pint after the game Saturday, and we had a conversation about Moise Keane, and we were like, not in any way going in on him, but we were a bit underwhelmed, weren't we? There was good and bad, but his performance on Saturday's polarised opinion from people I've spoken to subsequently. I've had people saying he was brilliant, and people saying he was awful, and he got a few bad shouts on Twitter. He's shite, he's this, he's that. I don't think it's not that clean cut. There's good bits and bad bits, but overall, I don't think he was amazing. And there's mitigation there, isn't it?
Yeah, if we brought him through the academy, everyone goes, "Oh, we've got a decent player here, through the academy." Yeah. It's because he's up for the Golden Boy Awards, isn't he? Bought him from Juventus, ripped up Serie A, and all this because all this expectations on him, and everyone rates him highly. You're sort of expecting them to rip it up straight away. Yeah. That's the case. And listen, I personally think it's going to take a lot more time to settle than what we actually thought. You can see there's a player in there, don't get me wrong, you can actually see it, but whether the Premier League's a bit too fast for him at the moment, like we've seen with Gabam in early doors, I think that's the case. I hope he scores on Saturday and like when he goes on a run of 10 or 12, but maybe. I'm unsure.
I'd like to just touch on something David mentioned at the top of the show, that I really would like to see Iwobi given a chance behind the centre forward on Saturday. There's nothing to lose really. I don't know whether that'll work because he might even go 3 at the back, but we can talk about that in a minute. But I want to see Iwobi get a chance there because that really could, as that stat that he said, it was almost double.
It's interesting,
It could free up the forward players, I think.
Well, we did clinch the victory on Tuesday against Wednesday. When the draw came out, Greg, did you just want home draw, happy days? But when it was I was looking for championship clubs. There was none in there.
There weren't that.
There was no championship clubs at all in there. Couple of League 2 clubs, couple of League 1 clubs, and the rest Premier League. If someone would have said to you, take a lesser Premier League club at home, you'd have bit their hand off, wouldn't you?
Well, not really. I would have wanted the League 1 or League 2. It's I know what you mean. Before we started recording, we spoke about Southampton at home last season.
And Norwich, didn't we?
Yeah. And Southampton weren't having a brilliant season, by the way, and we still conspired to lose against them and get knocked out. So maybe I've just got that in the back of my mind.
There's a quarter final at stake this time.
It's not the worst draw by any means. Watford are absolutely stinking the gaff out at the moment. But without sounding too fatalistic, wouldn't it just be Everton to go?
Get out that mindset.
I'm only going off experience from last season. But you're right. Yeah, it's not the worst draw by any means, is it?
Taking that draw, wouldn't you, David?
I'm also a little bit cautious about this draw.
Not another one.
No, hear me out, but
2 pals of misery next to me.
Well, this is what happens when you foul them for so long. You know that. But what I will say was I was over the moon with the rest of the draw as well.
Yeah,
I think that will give Everton that little bit more emphasis to make sure they go out and get the win, because I can't remember the logistics, but I know at that quarter-finals there's going to be at least, was it 1 League 1 club?
1 League 1 club, 1 League 2 club?
Yeah.
Wow.
3, according to Ed's.
So that'll be interesting.
So, I think that's the emphasis, and you're going to lose to Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea or Man United. So,
and you've got even the likes of Wolves playing Aston Villa. There's a few in there, they're all classing each other. The best part, I think, 15 Premier League teams will go out by the quarter-finals, nice. So which is, I think it's extraordinary, and this is what I mean, there's a bit of a pat here now. If Everton, and we'll get on to Watford when it comes, do you think Silva now looks at this, he's gone full strength early doors, Greg, I think he's now looking at this going, Watford at home, we're in the quarter-finals, if we beat Watford, there's a realistic chance of winning this thing, because Liverpool and Arsenal are going out, Chelsea and United are going out, one of them. I'm not being funny, you can fancy Liverpool or Manchester City on a given day in a final. So you've got the opportunity now to get that monkey off your back, surely.
Yeah, well look, we've beat 3 of the teams you mentioned last season. Yeah. So it's within our gift to go and get to Wembley, basically, without getting too carried away. And then, like you say, if you do end up with a Man City, or even worse, a Merseyside derby at Wembley, I suppose anything can happen on the day, and it should be amazing to get to that stage. I don't mean that in a defeatist way, it would be nice to be there. Yeah. No, you've got to go and win, but we worry about that down the line. Let's get past Watford first.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we'll have to get to, if we do, more than likely we'll have to get past Manchester City, who we play on Saturday. When after the Sheffield United game, the thought of Manchester City straight away was just, it was horrible, wasn't it? Dude, actually, because they just obviously give Watford a hide 8-0, and we've just been beat off Sheffield United 2-0, and everyone's just, it's the perfect cocktail for doom and gloom along County Road, isn't it? And we all spoke about it, and everyone was fearing for the worst. But now you've got a little bit of a victory in the League Cup, albeit against a Championship team. So it's got a little bit of optimism now, haven't you, going into Saturday?
Yeah,
That was a strong use of the term, that was.
Try my best.
I mean, look, I think it's more important how we play against City than the result, in a way. I mean, that sounds so like...
The Reds will be loving you, Greg.
No, I'm aware how defeatist and pessimistic, and not very Everton that sounds, because you want to go and get at Goodison Park, you want to think you can go and beat any team. But I'm just going off our recent form. I would rather just see us, turn out a convincing display. However, City, whether or not there's any complacency after they've just walloped Watford, and we can just still get it right, and we can just get them on a bit of a bad day. I don't know. But interestingly, how do you think he'll set up to try and take the game to them? Will he go 3 at the back? We'll probably have two defensive.
Yeah, I can understand. Like, we've been very critical, haven't we, about his 4-2-3-1 over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I can get it if he goes with 4-2-3-1 against Manchester City. If he does it against Liverpool, totally accept that, because we're not better than these teams. So sometimes you've got to obviously utilise your squads and try and defend and capitalise on the counter. I get that, but in games against Sheffield United at their own, go with your 4-3-3. But even then, I take it on board that he hasn't got the personnel to do that, because he hasn't had 3 fit midfielders all season to play like that. So I refuse to be critical about him yet, because he hasn't got the personnel to play the formation he wants to play.
Do you know? Sorry, it's good.
No, I just think of Manchester City. I think he'll go 4-2-3-1. I think he'll go with Delph, Schneiderlin. I think he'll
tried and tested.
Yeah, I think he'll play Coleman. I think he'll play Dean, Mina, Keane will come back in, Pickford, and then at the 3. I hope he does put Iwobi in the 10. Maybe even Bernard left and Richarlison right and Calvert-Lewin up front, and maybe drop Sigurdsson, but I can't see it. And we've harped on loads of times about Sigurdsson hasn't been a massive issue with this team. What do you think he'll play?
Exactly that. I can't see any bravery at all in the team selection, and I get it as well. It's just that the way things are at the moment in the Premier League, it's a horrendous fixture to have, really, because Man City's just so good. I know they got beat by Norwich.
Well, why can't Everton do what Norwich did? Because Everton have better players than Norwich.
Well, they can, but they'll need the stars to align the way they did with Norwich, because that narrative got overlooked. It was fantastic Norwich, yet they played well, but they were the second best team, and City should have still won the game. So you need a lot of things to go in your favour, and if that all happens, then yeah, Everton have a chance. But a team like Manchester City, I can't see them having another performance like that so soon. That was the worst. If they had won every game so far this season, I'd be confident. I'd be thinking we could catch them cold here. But when they've already put in a performance like that so soon, I am a little bit concerned.
I'd like to ask a question to David, please.
Go ahead, then.
In his coaching capacity, right? There's all sorts of different theories out there, aren't there? But how, in your opinion, from an analytical point of view, what's the best way to stop City to being City? Do you sit in a low block and just try and defend deep and catch them, or is that not going to work? So therefore, just try and take the game to them, or what you do?
Well, I think you do stay within a low block. Personally, I know everybody wants you to say no, just take the game to them, but
press them like we do so effectively against some teams.
Yeah, but. Look how fantastic they are, out playing out from the back. They will play around you, and they'll have acres of space in the middle then to attack, and numerical advantage in their favour. What maybe they need to be better at, and I thought Norwich done this well, was selectively going with pressing. So sitting in, but on occasions then pushing out and pressing them, and that's how you can catch them cold a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously that's what Norwich done for the 3rd goal.
But they've got a weakness from set pieces.
Well, I was just about to say, if you're going to score against them anywhere,
near post,
just set pieces. I think just it's probably their weakest place, and
it's near post as well, which has been highlighted.
Yeah,
I know Sky have highlighted it quite a lot over the past couple of weeks. Is that near post headers from set pieces where they are very vulnerable.
That's why Dominic Calvert-Lewin starts for me.
Yeah,
and you do get Mina and Keane up. Just the only other concern that I've got, again, apologies for being pessimistic, but is they've got pace in abundance, haven't they? And I'm looking at Schneiderlin, I'm looking at Coleman, I'm looking at Keane, and to a lesser extent Mina, and none of them are that quick. So I just fear if we get caught up the pitch, I just think we could get absolutely roasted.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed when Norwich did play them, it was highlighted by the pundits that Norwich were actually very compact, and they were forcing Manchester City wide.
Yeah.
So in the end, because Norwich were very compact, Man City had no alternative but to start throwing balls into the box. Now City did nearly score off 1 or 2.
Was that near the end of the game?
Yeah, and they sort of ran out of ideas.
Yeah.
So I think Norwich just set the store out saying we've got a goal, or we're 2-1 up here.
Yeah.
Now we are you're not going to come through the middle, because City want to go through the middle because they've got the best midfield, they've got the best attack, so they're going to want to come through the middle. So if you go wide, what is their option? They're not a team that are going to throw balls in the box because they haven't got Aguero's not going to win many headers, is he? Gabriel Jesus. So that's what Norwich were doing.
It's forcing us,
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I wrote a piece, didn't I, early in the week, saying about how Everton can't break sides down who sit in the low block, because the problem what they do is they always get the ball out wide and try and cross the ball into the box, but there's so many defenders in there compared to attackers that it's bread and butter for them. It's easy. So yeah, that does make sense. Trying to, if you can, that's why I was asking if it was at the end of the game, because this is normally a trait of a team chasing a result where they start getting panicked and crossing the ball in. But how often does that actually lead to a goal? Which is on the point that you're saying that they were swinging it in and not getting much success.
They were happy with that knowledge. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, in an ideal world, you want to get a lead and then you can sit back and defend it.
Yeah. Exactly. And even so that you look at Manchester City and the teams that have gone at them, like Norwich did when they picked the moments, went at them. Massive gaps in their defence. Now, don't get me wrong, they're a fantastic team, but they're not perfect. They've dropped 5 points this season. They've dropped them for a reason. And the centre backs are there to be got at. The left back is, in my opinion, and even Kyle Walker is at times.
Yeah.
So they're not. They haven't got the best defence.
Do you not think Mendy's the best if he's going to play there?
If he plays there, he's a very good athlete.
Did you mean Mendy or?
No, I'm Zinchenko.
Oh, that's
Zinchenko. I don't rate him at all. I really don't.
Here's what I like the look of. So the reason I would also, like you lads, go with Calvert-Lewin is he's the perfect outball when you're under the cosh, in the sense that you'll knock it over the top or into the flanks and you close it down. Now, I assume we're going to be looking at a centre-back pairing of Otamendi and Fernandinho.
Yeah.
I like Fernandinho, and in many ways he is a perfect Guardiola centre-back almost.
Yeah. Mascherano.
Yeah, perfect. But he is very capable of making not rash challenges, but if a quick play is around him, I can think of examples where he's being caught out. I remember they gave away a penalty at St James's Park last season that they ultimately lost the game off it. Yeah. He always looks like he's got a yellow card in him. And I feel like Calvert-Lewin's very good against players like that at winning fouls. And I just wonder, in the penalty area, could Calvert-Lewin potentially win us something?
It's a good show. It's a very good show.
Or even a free kick in Lucatine range outside.
Well, that's it. All you need, free kicks alleviate the pressure, get a few players up there. You can start working. Do we put Lucatine to have a shot? Do we cross it in?
Yeah.
I think that'll be a little interesting.
So, who would be your three if he's playing that 4-2-3-1? We've just named obviously the back four and the two centre midfielders are Delph and Snars. Delph's we forget about Delph playing against his old club so soon.
Are you asking my three or Silver's three?
Your three.
I would be a little bit brave and give Iwobi a go just for that little bit of.
So would you play Bernard on the left?
Yeah, and then Richarlison on the right.
Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
Would you go with that, Greg?
Yeah.
So would you drop Sigurdsson?
Yeah.
Who do you think Marco Silva will start with?
Iwobi on the left or on the bench, and Sigurdsson through the middle.
I think he'll go Iwobi left, Sigurdsson through the middle, and Richarlison right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I know. I think that's unfortunate.
He's got a little bit more, though, he's a good runner with the ball, isn't Iwobi, so maybe he'll think in terms of progressing us up the pitch from the defensive third when we do recover possession, whereas Bernard seems a little bit more good trickery, but maybe not someone who could just sprint raw pace with the ball.
I was a bit disappointed with him on Saturday, Bernard, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Starting in the team again.
He's just doing it too much, isn't he? Where he's coming in and just not impacting it enough.
Yeah.
And it's his work rate when off the ball. There was times when I was watching him and he just weren't literally bothered about tracking back. It's just this like laboured attitude, and I was going, that's not good enough, lads. Like, I know Everton have bought a player and he can easily play on the left hand side and it will be, but you should be saying, do you know what, this place is mine. But he seems to be like as if he's threw the towel and accepted that, you know what, I'm on the bench now, so I'm alright to do a couple of little runs now and again and throw a ball into the box, and that's my job done. One of the highest earners at the club, lad. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be starting pulling your finger out.
True.
That's not the attitude that you need. And it's sort of accepting now that, oh well, that's it now, throw me toys out the pram, so be it. I don't want to see that. I want to see a player going, do you know what, no, that shirt's mine. If any place in this team, move to a number 10, go and get that place. But it's sad, and I don't like that. I don't like players' attitudes like that.
We're definitely going by saying 4-2-3 wrong. So we're discounting 3 at the back. We're thinking it'll be like, as we said, Coleman, Dean, Mina and Keane, are we?
Me, but I'd place Azebi, me. I just think Coleman...
In a back four?
Yeah, in a back four, yeah. I would have placed Azebi in a back four.
What do you think he'll play?
I think he'll play Coleman.
Right. Okay.
I think he'll just... I worry, Greg, because you know my thoughts on Coleman, but they're going to target him and he can just see it. They'll have De Bruyne on him, they'll have Bernardo Silva on him, and he's got no pace.
But they do that, I agree, but they do that on Sidibe as well, mate, in terms
of... but the lad's got pace. That'll get him out of trouble.
Yeah,
and he's an outlet going forward.
I haven't seen him winning any, scintillating runs, 100 metre.
Yeah, but he's more of an outlet going forward. If Coleman's ever going to bench him, so if basically by playing Coleman, you're just sitting duck, because he's not going to bench you forward. And if he does, he's only coming back inside.
Yeah, I agree. Essentially, but playing devil's advocate, experience. I've not experienced in big games. He's been in the France World Cup winning squad. I don't think he played in the final, did he? But he's been in and around big games. So.
And I hate to say, because we've only seen him after 2 league games, you know what I mean? But I just think now at the time, is Coleman literally drinking in the last chance to do now?
Yeah, I'll be honest. You know where I stand with Sidibe. I've been banging his drum since he come in, really, about giving him a good run. I'd probably contradict myself and say I'd leave Coleman in this weekend. You know
why?
Interesting.
Just leave it. Is he what is he offering? What is the player offering? Defending wise, attacking wise.
What's so Patrick that?
Yeah, it's difficult for me to say.
Is it because he's a bit of unknown to Sidibe in the Premier League?
Pretty much, yeah. I think it's a baptism of his fire. I think it's really, and as you know, I do want to see him come in. I just think this game for me, I'm finding it really difficult to get motivated about, sadly. And
Saturday night under the lights against the champions, you can't get yourself motivated.
But that's the problem for me. This City side, I can't see any avenue of Everton winning it. And trust me, I'm praying to the football gods to be proven wrong. I want to see one of those crazy games where you come out and it was chaos, madness, and you go, what just happened? Unbelievable. I desperately want that, but
could be, couldn't there? We've seen a lot of yellow cards and red cards over the past couple of years between the two teams, so maybe one of them type of games.
I hope so.
I think you've just hit on a point there. 5:30 kick-off, right? Everyone's had a chance to get a few pints in them. You know, we're coming on the back of a good result in the league. In the cup, but a bad result in the league. If we can get it just right in the stands, if that bear pit can be, we've seen that affect City in the past. Thinking obviously, Davies scored and Lookman, did so well on his debut with that goal. It's possible, isn't it? Anything's possible. We can. Is there a soft underbelly in this City team? I don't know whether there isn't. Technically, I think they're near flawless, but in terms of personality or character, maybe it isn't back in our mind. We've got beaten by Norwich and we've dropped points here and there. So
I think you're praising them too much. I do. Don't get me wrong; they're a really good team, but the defence, I'd say time and time again, not keeping clean sheets. I think they're there to be got, and especially from set pieces, which we spoke about. Got to get height in there, got to get Mina in there, got to get Michael Keane. That's why Calvert-Lewin's got to be in there, but then the delivery's got to be to the bottom.
I was just going to say, to just add to your point, and David might know, but I'm putting you on the spot a bit. We haven't scored from many set pieces this season. We
scored a cracker last week. Yeah, I mean.
Great ball, by the way. Wasn't it?
I know, and that's
and you were saying, it goes back to your points about the quality of the deliveries from all but Everton.
It is, and I think we racked it up on Saturday. I was looking at it. Everton had 7 corners. Didn't remotely look like scoring from any of them.
No.
Sheffield United had one absolute peeler of a cross, and it's in the back of our net.
We never did a Sheffield United post-game show, did we?
We didn't, because it didn't happen.
Yeah, okay.
We'd be there till it'd be.
It's just what's annoying about that. I won't stay on it is if Everton were playing well, right? Or
if they beat Sheffield United.
No, just before that game. Say Everton were playing fairly well and they were just there was some exciting things going on. That game would have 100% been squatted away as a bad day at the office because they Sheffield United's first shot was in the 70th minute.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
they had one shot
to the target. Yeah. So on another day, if that could have been battered away, but obviously because we know that there's underlying issues there, it didn't, unfortunately.
Well, we'll speak about it now, just briefly before we wrap up.
Yeah.
I did say last week, and we spoke about it in the pub afterwards, didn't we, that the minute Silva goes against what he stands for in terms of literally just throwing players in the box and going with a 3-1-3-3 formation, Everton just lost the way and fans kind of turned on him a little bit, and it gave the excuse for like more fans to get on his back because what happened there? We changed the formation 3 or 4 times. He went against what he stood for.
Tell you what, a lot of fans said when Everton lost the way. You'll like this one. Was when Coleman came off.
Come on, Tom.
Why did they lose the way?
That's not my words. The words of Top Gear magazine. No,
was he ripping up that right wing? Was he throwing balls into the box and creating chances?
Not at all, really. No. And look who came on for him in terms of Walcott. It didn't make much difference.
Cenk Tosun come on. It was everywhere. It was a mess.
Win really, because I know exactly what you're saying, but people say he's got no plan B. Well, you couldn't tell me that game didn't need changes, and he went 4-4-2, 2 strikers, didn't make any difference, and then at the end, you're right, it was a little bit like, what's going on here? And I think it was the last change where they completely lost it, and it was just nuts then, wasn't it?
It was a 3-1-3-3 formation,
Do you not think that was just a consequence of throwing the kitchen sink at it a little bit?
No, because it was just, when he was singing Cenk Tosun on, and you know what you're getting with Tosun? I don't get it.
I know, but to be fair though, we had brought it up as a subject of actually playing him on the pod a couple of weeks ago because of his
brace against Moldova.
He got the ball. I was watching come on. Always goodwill with Tosun because he's so likeable and you want him to do well.
I can't have players, hours and plays like that because
he won the ball right. I think was it with his back to goal, and then he turned and he just fell over. There you go.
Yeah, but he gives it all that and can't have that. Honestly, not for me. So we're going with the 4-2-3-1 on Saturday against City. We're going to have to go with our predictions then. Now we've tipped all season for us. We haven't had one right, have we?
I'll start with this one.
Come on.
Hang on a sec. Ed started.
Our cameraman's gone 0-0. Yeah.
Go on, Ed.
He's typed in with 0-0.
I'll take it.
Go on, David.
I'm going to go 2-0 Manchester City.
Tell us the goal scorers. Come on.
Okay, Sterling, because he hasn't had any in a couple. I think Jesus will score as well.
He hasn't done well at Goodison, has he, Sterling?
No.
Stop it.
No, you know what I've done.
I just think last season's game was quite admirable, wasn't it? Yeah, when we got beat 2-0, it was late goals in both halves. Something similar, I'll take it. If we can pull a result off, then I'll be out all night.
Yeah. Go on.
You go.
2-2.
Oh,
yeah.
Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones,
Who scores first?
I think Everton score first, and City score 2, and then Everton score again, equaliser.
A late equaliser. Goodison goes nuts.
Yeah, and everyone's happy. Well, not everyone, but you'd take a draw now, wouldn't
you?
Would you? If I offered you a draw now, would you bite their hands off?
Oh, bite it off. Gnaw it off. I'm running straight down the top. You wouldn't catch me. It goes back to what we keep saying, like what you think and what you want and blah blah blah. So I'll, if you give me the luxury, I'll go what I want rather than what I think.
What you think.
My prediction: what will happen? Well, we'll get beat. I think we'll get beat like 3-1. Is my prediction. I was going to say 1-1, but I think we'll lose, unfortunately. 3-1.
Who's going to score?
And let's hope for once. Well, at least 2 of us are wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Would be the first time.
It would indeed. Well, Blues, if you enjoyed that podcast, we're on iTunes, Spotify, and all them outlets. And then we're on Facebook, Twitter too. Thanks to our cameraman Ed, David, Greg, and myself, Tony Scott. And if you see us on County Road, be sure to buy us a pint after the match. Win, lose, or draw. Thanks for tuning in.